welcome to the check-in. I am your boy Heat Detector, and this is the check-in. And as usual, in the beginning, you got to give me a minute so I can set uh, everything right as far as like the permissions and all of that stuff from Facebook because Facebook is well Facebook. But in the meantime, I'll give you the disclaimer. Uh, this show is not for the faint of heart. If you're thin skinned, you dream of bunny rabbits and rainbows and cotton candy and all that. I don't know what all that means. I've been saying that for a minute now. Just means really, like, really not here. The show is not to offend anybody. There may be some harsh language. There may be some harsh or hard topics being spoken about, but none of it is to offend anyone or want anyone to feel offended. And if you do feel offended, you don't need to report it. Just go watch something else. But the hopes would be that somebody that may be offended or whatever would stay and listen and understand what's really going on here. The purpose of this show, I don't know that it really has a purpose other than, in my mind, to help people deal with stresses and to have good mental health because it's extremely important. I've had a multitude of things happen to me, not just recently, but like even in my past and things that dictated, or I don't know if they dictated, but they shaped and molded a lot of my behaviors as an adult and as a young man, as a teen. Uh, and being older now, like I want to be in a better place. And my hopes are that this show and doing this show every Sunday uh, helps someone. It's the reason I do it. Also, that it helps myself as well. Um, tonight's show is going to be quick and painless as much as possible. Um, but again, I'm not a psychiatrist or a therapist, just a dude on a damn journey. And for every tool that I learn or that I understand, I want to give that back to people to help others that may be struggling in a lot of different areas as far as mental health is concerned. And with that being said, I just want to talk real quick because we're in that season now, and that season is, for some, it's horrible because this is the season of like all these damn holidays. Some people have birthdays and holidays, and all of this is all like family oriented, and it can be a really really tough time for people. I know even for myself today, not today, but to this day, I still struggle with holidays because holidays weren't always good. Holidays at sometimes were really fucked up, if not all the time growing up. I had the good ones were very far in between, but I know that this is a tough time, and then economically speaking, it's extremely tough out there, and that weighs heavy on people's minds. Being able to get gifts and to do things with family, and that's why I wanted to talk about today about being grateful. Um, and like I've said before, I come up with these topics for the show, um, like day of. I just kind of like go with the flow, and then whatever is put upon me to talk about is what I talk about. And it kind of hit me today, uh, being grateful. That really stuck in my mind all day for some reason. Um, Something had happened earlier in the day, and I had to pull myself away, and then I had to really sit down and think about what had just transpired, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I need to be grateful. I really do." Um, and I think that's one of the things I struggle with. That and humility at times. Um, it's a tough one because sometimes I think we don't know. I don't know, like, shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I know that like sometimes it's like we don't know that we should be grateful. There, how about that? That we don't know that we should be grateful, and there's a ton of shit that we should be grateful for every fucking day. You know, be grateful that you woke up, that you're breathing. Be grateful that you have your health. You know, be grateful if you have friends. Be grateful that you have friends. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful that you have family. Be grateful that you may not have family left, but you have friends that you feel are like family. Be grateful for that. There's a, I mean, I don't know, but it just was just stuck on my mind today, all day today, of what I felt like I was overlooking and not truly being grateful for. Because it could be much, much worse. It could be way worse. And I had to sit down. I had to sit my ass down. Uh, yeah, shout out to Microphone Misfits. I believe that's D-Nick. He said, "Why is it tough?" I don't know. Because I had never thought. I think if you're talking about why is it tough to be grateful, I don't think at times I don't, especially like growing up in my younger years and things like that. I don't think that I had given much thought about being grateful. You know what I mean? Um, Things would happen, good things would happen, shit would happen, and I'd be like, "Man, that's cool," or "Thanks," but not really being grateful for whatever the blessings that were being thrown my way. Not just even taking for granted waking up and breathing like that shit's supposed to happen. Um, Even being grateful for my mother. I'm super grateful for her now, but shit, she's gone. Grateful to have had a brother. He's gone, but I'm grateful to have had my brother because the love I have for my brother, I have for other men that I consider my brothers, and it has given me a better understanding of what that means. Yeah, all right, I'll shoot the link. Um, Again, I say all these things, man, and come on this show and do this because I don't know the real reason other than it's been put upon me to do it. And it's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I think everybody's kind of a work in progress. And I'm not talking like to be sitting here and like have a pity party or anything, because it's nothing like that. It was just thoughts in my mind today about being grateful and what that means to me and how me personally, I need to understand what it is to be grateful. me personally. And if in that someone else can learn something, it'd be great. That would be the whole purpose. But my daughter came to me and she had baked some cookies and she put a stack of cookies in a plastic bag and she gave them to me. She's like, "I love you, Daddy. These are for you." And I had already been thinking about the gratefulness shit, and I just grabbed her and I hugged her and I was like, "I love you so much." And just something so simple like that, I'm so grateful for. Because damn, that shit meant a lot. As simple as it was, meant a lot. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to have a beautiful daughter that's healthy. And to have I'm excited about that. I'm grateful for that. I don't. My system has been acting up again, so let me see if
Oh,
you
it's
could
all
talk.
good. Can you hear me?
Mic
Check,
checks.
check. Peace and infinite blessings.
Yeah.
Check in, family.
Yeah. All right. So as I was always saying, my daughter made me some cookies, and I was like really grateful for it. But I think that probably had I not sat down and really thought about that today, I probably would have got the cookies in and been, just hugged her, told her I loved her, and did the same thing. But it wouldn't have hit me the way that it did had I not really thought about that shit today and how much more um, I don't know introspective thinking I need to do for
Mm.
myself. You know what I mean? Figure me out some more. And I think part of that is me being grateful. Like I'm grateful for you, D-Nick, every time showing up,
Oh,
being
bless.
on here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take these. I never really took any of that shit for granted, anyways. But just thinking about it today, being grateful. I don't know. Just put things in a different perspective and light. You know what I'm saying?
What was different? What was different for you to really count your blessings or gratitude today? What smacked you different? Do you think?
Um, I don't know. I was like, it wasn't like a real situation or anything, but I was just in this really weird, foggy headspace, and then I was looking around in my house, and I don't know. I just was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I kind of like slipped into this mentality that I get sometimes, like, fuck everything, man. Fuck all this shit. And then
Mm.
I went and I sat down and I started thinking about where I am, where I came from, where I'm headed, and I really started thinking about being grateful. Not like I have never thought about it before, but probably not in
No,
that
I get it.
manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just curious as to what because it's always really interesting. Kind of evaluate. Like I would see this as a trigger and like what launched this like positive trigger for you.
Right. Well, also too during all of this whole this this journey that I'm on, every time that I do feel some kind of trigger or something, I because I'm aware of a lot of things now. I will sit myself down and like really like think about it, but not overthink it. You know what I'm saying? Think about it for what it really is. Think about it for however it affects me and whatever, and then do my best to think about what triggered like after everything. I was sitting back thinking about like what triggered me to feel like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And what
Mm,
it was just like because I've lost a lot of things in my life. I don't know why, but I was looking around and like fuck all I don't know. It was weird. It was like my brain just said, "Fuck it. All this shit don't mean nothing. Fuck it. Fuck this shit." And I immediately like, what? Like in my brain, like went, what are you talking about? So I went and I sat my stupid ass down and looked around and was like, man, I have a hell of a lot to be grateful for. That even that thought, it doesn't even make any damn sense. Like to be like fuck it and all that. I have a ton to be grateful for. Which, you know, after I don't want to say coming to my senses or anything, but after thinking about it and everything, I just was like, oh, it put me in a better space and had me really looking at my family and things and
Yeah,
you know, I'm cool. And I was
yeah.
like, yo, man, and then it just stayed on my mind all day. And then with my daughter giving me these damn cookies, just a little while ago, I was like, yo, man, I am
Yeah.
truly blessed and grateful. And, just, I don't know, it just solidified that's what I needed to talk about today, and
No, that's
because,
good, man. Like we have to reflect and see what put that out. Like I have, as stressed as I've been, like I feel tremendously blessed, especially today. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I was slightly aggravated and then like calmed down and it's just like, you know what? Be appreciative. Let me give like a shot and an opportunity to like this producer and all of this stuff. And then man, we had a talk and we worked it out and it's just like man, like not submitting to the ego and just and chopping it up, we were just like really, really appreciative of where we are in our careers and just whatever the discrepancy was just got totally fixed like that,
right,
and it was just like, man. And then in all of that, we just like, man, I'm really proud of that cat, and he's really proud of me, and it just definitely feel blessed, man. Like I know exactly you know, and for listeners, I'm being cryptic because he don't
yeah,
like to talk art
yeah,
stuff
no, I
during the
understand.
on the in the check-in, but it
No,
was
no, no,
something
I'm
that
cool. Yeah,
really,
I'm cool.
yeah,
No, no, you're good. You're good. You're good, man. I'm listen, like I just told you, I'm grateful that you here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm shit. I'm cool with
yeah,
everything.
man. I no, but I agree with you. Like I totally agree with you. You know, um, like I just had that. And, sometimes we have to. We have to like humble ourselves and calm our brains down and really sit back and just like, let me just chill and take it in and just be appreciative for what I got. And then the wild thing is things will excel even greater,
Right. That's very
you
true.
know. And
And
we realize like what are we tripping about sometimes? Like is that steak really worth the sizzle?
right. Yeah. It, yeah, it was a trip today. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It just put it upon me as something to talk about because this is that damn time of year where depression is real high and people get in their feelings about a lot of things. We've all lost people, and this is that time of year where it's kind of like fuck. And
Yeah.
I just felt the need. today to talk about that, and not necessarily loss or anything like that, but about being grateful. You know.
No, you know what it is, and it's funny you mentioned the the time of year and like like depending on what someone believes in is the it's the holiday season. So everybody's programmed that this is time where family gets together. This is the time
Right.
where you make these big elaborate meals. This is the time where you're giving gifts and it is all of this commercial stuff. And then there's moments where you'll be like, and like all of those pressures that are supposed to be symbols of and tokens of our compassion and love and all of this type of stuff, it gets swept up in why you ain't get this one, that one, why
Right.
you ain't do this, da da
Right.
da da. Like, and then like the reality is like it becomes tricky. That's why I asked like why,
Yeah.
because it is tricky. Like even like today, like I'm a bottle of nerves because I got this little one on her way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then I'm trying to make sure everything's all lined up before all of that so I can just coast and focus on this kid and all of this stuff. And then like, I had to I was at a not at I was virtual, but I was on a virtual listening party for this Nickelodeon project, and the mix was just off. Like my verse was like off beat, and I was like I'm like, what the hell? And I'm
Right.
freaking out because it's like, man, this is a Nickelodeon project. It's gonna be a whole bunch of like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like people who's gonna have ears on. Like, what are you doing? And and I reach out to the engineer, and I'm like, he's like, oh, it's not final, but this. I'm like, man, can you get my stuff on beat? You know, I'm not. I don't want to come off to the world like I'm Silk the Shaka or somebody.
Right.
No disrespect to Silk the Shaka.
Right.
And and I was all of my insecurities was kind of it triggered my insecurities and all of this type of stuff. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't lie. And I was like, man, just reach out more civilly and like you know, and because then your ego,
Yeah.
like artists, especially artists, like
Artists.
man,
Yeah.
rappers and producers are the worst human beings on the planet.
Yeah.
It's pedophiles, then it's artists. You know what I'm saying? But and then like, and if you're a pedophile artist, ooh, but no, but yeah. So, but we were talking and we cleaned it up and we fixed it and everything was cool. And it's just like, man, that was all me. And then he was nervous about, like, dang, man, I got him looking bad and all of this. And he's nervous that I'm finna be the egomaniac artist
Right.
that just bites his head off. And then we was talking, and his brother's a super cool dude, and like really proud of him, really honored to be a part of this stuff. It's fucking Nickelodeon. And then
Yeah.
we're talking, and man, we were just like, yo, man, we were just really like, man, we grew up watching that channel. My name is Nickelodeon. It's like, man, like we just did, and we just really, I was like, man, shout out to you, man. Like, you're not just a rapper, you finna be a rapper and a Power Ranger. How crazy. Our careers is different. We
Right.
different. He was like, yo, but y'all and the Misfits and man, we just really, really appreciate it. And it's like, man, just in one instant, if we had not have been cool and grateful, because I'm like, you know what? I got more important things, and if I look bad, then I just look bad. It wasn't nothing I could do. It was out of my control, and then my brother wasn't gonna have me look bad, and it just took a simple conversation,
Yeah.
and then in that conversation, we were just really appreciative because who would have thought that we would be there We
Right.
would be doing this. It's like it's fucking Nickelodeon. Who would have thought? And it's like,
Right.
and salute to player one. Big up to player one. I'm like,
Shout out player one.
man, he looked out for me to
Yeah.
even include me in that. And I was just like, man, this is dope, man. And just being grateful and being thankful. But it's it's really hard because we're we're always focused, especially in our profession. We're always focused on what's next.
Yeah.
We're always focused. If we take like it so seriously, and that's just work. I'm just talking about artistic work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you think about what we do and who we do it for, man, that is a blessing.
Yeah,
But
man.
so many people, we have to fight for it, and it's all of that stuff. It goes back to your daughter giving you some cookies. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
get cookies from anywhere, but it's just this fact that, man, she thought enough to give her old man some
Mm-hmm.
cookies. That's blessed, man.
Yeah. It
You
really
know, and
I mean I feel like I had already kind of, let me rephrase that. Things were in perspective, but for what it's worth or whatever, her giving me those cookies really hit home. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. And and I think maybe that's kind of one of the things, like, I've always been shunned away. I've always shunned away from, like, saying, "Oh, I'm blessed," or because I always felt like saying those things sounded egotistical. It sounded like, "Oh, I'm
really,
good." Yeah. Now that I'm
mm,
thinking about it, yeah. It's like, "Oh, I'm blessed." It's like looking at somebody else, like, "Oh, I'm blessed and you're not." You know what I mean? Type shit. And I don't have
mm.
no fucking clue where that comes from, but so I always really had a problem with saying that or feeling that or thinking that, you know, and like that the little fucking cookies, just like really hit home. Like, god damn, even though I had already went through this whole thing today, the fucking cookies just landed home. Like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I am blessed,
That's
man.
that's a that is a what's the term? Like I say it as especially when I was starting to yeah, when I was really got serious about spiritually censoring myself. It became not so much a greeting, but a response. Oh, both. It would be a response to a greeting
Mm-hmm.
and a greeting in itself. You know, when people like or like a thank you. When people like give me something is oh blessed, thank you. You know, and like because I have to like I put it in practice that I'm reminding myself and I'm reminding subtly, reminding whoever I'm engaging with that that's you just blessed me because you didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You did, so I like it's thank you, but I'm acknowledging that this was a blessing that you give me, or gave me, or however. And when people, it's also a reminder, like when people especially in my day job as a counselor, when people like, "How you doing today, Mr. D Nick?" I'm blessed, and people always respond differently. Especially I'm at a black school, so if I was like, "How you doing today?" Blessed. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not doing good, I'm like, I'm blessed, and it's like some old school teacher is gonna be like, "Yes, blessed and highly favored," and all like it's gonna. pick them up, and it's like I like that. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
always say it, but they just always have an appreciation, and it's a reminder for me, like, don't get yourself down. You're blessed, because this can be hard. Like even the arts thing, it can be hard, and especially in that because it's so very transactional career wise, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're you know we we do things, and then we got, not to say, because everything is relative, right? Not to put somebody down like, oh man, there's people way worse than what we go through. Well,
Right.
it's, I mean, yes, but that's relative, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's relative, and like we can't belittle someone else's, even if it seems trivial to us, and there do be a lot. Like, ooh, that's a first world problem, but whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all relative. It's all relative, and just so without putting judgments on it, just it's just a reminder, you know. Like
Yeah.
and it's more for me than anybody else. Like I have to remind myself. Some people like, oh, how you doing? I'm like, I'm blessed. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
I,
that's like the thing that I came to, like, that me being grateful is that's for me. Me feeling blessed, that's for me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I like to think that I show appreciation to those around me. Um, but me being grateful for them, for the people and the stuff that I have, I'm grateful for that, and and that gratefulness is for me.
yeah.
For
I never thought about it like it sounding arrogant, and I'm not saying that it doesn't. It might do. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah,
Or you said it do. It do.
mm-hmm.
Like I just never. I'm like I have to remind myself of my blessings because I'll beat myself up a lot. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? Like people will on this show, on your show, people will probably like, dang, he got it together. He always got an answer. No, I'm a counselor. But I beat myself up
yeah,
a lot, tremendously. People don't even know.
yeah. Well, I mean,
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
As artists, we're like the worst, man. We're like fucking we beat ourselves senseless over shit, and we tend to be overthinkers. Fucking, it's just I had told someone, I was like, man, as a creative person, uh, you wouldn't want to be in my head for 5 minutes. Like there's you know what I'm saying? Now, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in my brain thinking about the shit that I think about on a constant basis. And don't let me get inspired by something because I'm already like thinking of different ideas and different shit all the time, 24/7, nonstop. But don't let me get catch some inspiration because then it's just like, okay, now I got to get this shit out of my system because it'll fucking
Hmm.
haunt me. It won't let me sleep. It won't let me do anything until I fucking do it. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, and it's a total, man. I don't want to say it's worse, but it's a totally isolating thing, business related. When
Yeah.
you start, when you do, there's that what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're navigating these professional waters
Yeah.
where these people don't give a fuck about
Fuck,
the
they don't give
art,
a fuck about that.
and they care about, can this sell soap?
Yeah.
If it can't sell soap, eh, whatever, and I get it, compassionately speaking, I
Yeah.
totally understand, especially if it's a investment situation.
Yeah.
But so they don't care. They do not care about it. And then that gets really, really trying, and you're like, and then when you go back to your comrades and your colleagues, and there's a lot of people who are hobbyists and they don't know it, and then but and like, which is such a beautiful position to be in. Let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, like, cause to just do art for art's
Do art
sake.
for art's sake. Yeah.
Man, that shit is so pure and genuine and beautiful. And there'll be professional motherfuckers that look down on you and all of this type of stuff. So they be thinking you like, oh, you looking down on me, oh, cause and it's not their fault. And so and all like, and because we get took so much, I don't even want to have artsy fartsy conversations with other artists.
Right.
And I want to have business conversations because you're already creative. You don't need me to
Yeah, man.
tell you you're creative,
Say that
But
shit.
then I got to take accountability that makes you look away, whether intentional or unintentional. It
Mm-hmm.
does make you look away when people like, come to conclusions like, this motherfucker don't even like doing creative stuff. Or this
Right.
person doesn't, like he all he talks about is this and PRUs and like mechanicals and it's just like, oh man, no, no, that's not it. I just don't. You might teach me something, and so then you just gotta shut up, or you feel that you gotta shut up.
Right.
You feel that you gotta shut up, and then it makes you. And if you're not careful, it can make you resent it.
Yeah.
It can make you resent this this business and doing that creatively, and in
Mm-hmm.
reality, man, you're just blessed.
Yeah.
You just need to chill out and not take a breather, look around you, and be like, understand what it is, and man, be thankful for the things that you are able to do, have able to been to done, and everything that you can take away from it. Is just, you got to remind yourself of that
Man,
stuff,
that's
man. It's
exactly
so crazy.
exactly like what I did when I sat down today. Like the shit happened early this morning, and when I sat down and was like sipping my coffee, and I was just like, man, look, fuck. I've been down this road. I've been able to be successful doing music and being an artist and all that shit and everything, and then looking around and like from where I was and where I've been and everything, I'm like, fuck all this, I mean, I was like, man, fuck, I'm grateful to be where I'm at right now because sometimes I think, man, I should be in a way different place. You know what I'm saying? I should fuck this fucking house. I should be in a bigger house. I should be you know what I'm saying? I know my
Mhm.
capabilities. I know where I've been. I know like all this shit and it's just like, man, I looked around, I was like, man, you know what? Fuck all that, man. I'm grateful. I needed to be for for everything that has ever happened. All of that shit needed to happen in order for me to be right here right now. And I'm grateful
Yeah,
as fuck for that because I've learned a lot of lessons in the process. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every lesson that I've learned. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah, it
yeah,
really hit home for me today. And like I said, I just wanted to talk about that real quick because it's that time of year, and I was just like, oh, let me go on here, let me make this short and sweet, and
bless.
you know,
And people, be careful. Be careful
yeah,
that the superficial will suck you in and
man,
make you forget your blessings. And
yes, sir,
like, and yeah, like sometimes it takes something as simple as some cookies.
some
You know
fucking
what I'm saying?
cookies, right?
Like, for real, because you
Yeah,
will you will totally lose sight. You, man, I could have. when you talk about, that's why I was like, man, this speaks to me because I like this gratitude and
Mm-hmm.
these things because like I was really feeling a way about the the vocals being off centered on
Mm-hmm.
a fucking record
Right.
because I'm like, and I'm thinking like, man, this is for Nickelodeon. So many eyes could be on this. This could be our ticket, and like you fucking it up. And it's
Right.
like, bro, you got more important shit. You got this little girl coming into the
Right.
world. You got all of this type of stuff. You happy, you blessed. You got this opportunity.
Yeah, the
What are
opportunity
you tripping
itself.
about?
Yeah.
Just like you tripping. Count your
Yeah.
blessings. Have
Yeah.
a talk. What is the pressures that your man's has got for engineering and stuff? He's got
Mm-hmm.
crazy pressures with all of that, and then he's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I'm finna add to that, and and just being grateful for everything you accomplished, everything he's accomplished. I'm super proud of that dude.
Right.
And it's just like, if we ain't careful, it would just like any bad reaction, and it just being grateful is like such an important thing. And the superficial will throw you off. You could have flipped on your girl, like your little baby girl, like cookies.
Cookies. The fuck are
I
these?
deserve a steak. I
Yeah, I'm
deserve a
hungry.
steak.
The fuck
You
am I
know
gonna
what
do with these
I'm saying?
damn cookies? And you
Like,
know
you
what's
know what I'm
crazy is
saying?
that I've done that shit in the past. If somebody give me some shit like that, like I'm not looking at them. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? It's some real bogus shit. But yeah,
Yeah. So, don't get caught up in the superficial and be
nah.
very, very grateful.
Be grateful. And that was the whole point of this show tonight because that shit really hit home. And I felt it, like I needed to really talk about that, especially with these times right now. It's a lot of
Yep.
shit going on. A lot of people losing people, fucking, just fucking holidays, the fucking weather, you name it. You know what I'm saying? And not to
Mm-hmm.
mention like even because even with this shit that happened with my dog like that, it put a lot of shit, something like that, like put things really back into focus, you know. And
Right.
yeah, man, that's all for everybody out
Yeah.
there. Just be grateful. Any last words, bro, before count this
Man, just
blessing
be
right quick?
careful. Yeah, just for people listening, just be careful for the superficial. And it's cliche, and some would even say it's dated, but it's really the thought that counts. So, man, simply put, man, be grateful, be thankful, be blessed. Bless.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of what my man's just said, just look around, man. Look around and where you're at. Be grateful and be grateful for those around you. Be blessed and take it in. Live in it. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, this has been a check in, man. I appreciate you, man. Much gratitude, love,
Yes.
and respect, brother. Thank you so much.
Love and respect. Yep.
Peace.
Peace.